Okay, start recording. Yeah, I know. I just popped open that Red Bull just because it's 8 o'clock and I don't know how long this is gonna be. So pop those bad boys up to get ready, and just in case I need the extra boost for either Cyberpunk or Destiny later on.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got it.
I did. Well, hey, welcome guys. Thank you for joining me.
No problem. Thanks for
Yeah,
having us.
Oh yeah, you're welcome, dude. Thanks. I'm really excited. It's gonna be dope.
I know. I was like, all right, well, I guess fuck you guys. You're not
No,
welcome.
I thought you were talking to like the audience, like, hey, welcome, not like us, My bad.
Oh no, man, we're not live streaming this. There's no way.
Yeah, dude, my bad, my bad.
I am not ready for any live streams, so people can just talk about my stutter or slurring of the words. Years of brain damages. Yeah,
Oh my god.
yeah. Well, anyways, yeah. Well, here to talk about video games and mental health. Well, let's first start off talking about what video games you are. Well, actually, introduce yourself. Well, everybody, we know Justice. Justice has been here before.
Hello.
And today we have a new guy, Emilio.
What up? What up?
Or what would you like to be called? I could call you by any
Oh,
name.
you call Emilio, dude? That's fine.
Okay, all right, yeah.
That's what you know me as.
Yeah, sometimes people like to go under different avatars, so I like to respect it.
I mean, you could use my name, my gaming name, but I mean, but Amelia is pretty good. My gaming name's Sponks. That's what I've been using since like I was like 15, maybe 14.
Spunks.
Yeah,
Why Spunks?
dude. All right, I remember this very vividly. I was in summer school, like I don't know, like freshman year or something, or maybe like no, not even freshman year, like seventh grade, eighth grade. And this kid in my class, his name is Jason Jabuka. I'll never forget. We were just talking. And he told me his cat's name was Sponks. And I thought it was such a funny name. And that day, I went home and I changed my gaming name to Sponks, and I've never changed it again. So it's because of a cat.
So a cat chose your destiny for you.
Cat changed my life, dude.
Mm-hmm. Kind of crazy.
What's your gaming name, dude?
My gaming name right now is Spicy Panda Roll 69.
It's epic.
It's changed a lot before. Man, dude, before transfer over to PlayStation, I was playing on Xbox and I called myself Erection 415.
Also epic, dude. Come on.
Yeah, yeah, because my name is actually spelled AIREC for Eric instead of ERIC. So I just thought, what's the best way to create a funny yet childish name for Xbox? And Erection was fitting for the Xbox community.
It's a pretty good one, dude.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
And before that, I had the name lowercase a space capitalized. So every time we were playing like Halo, it would say you have killed. And that
Dude.
did not get banned, surprisingly. That lasted through Halo 3.
Did it eventually get banned? Sounds like it got banned.
I forgot the password, and I realized that it was culturally insensitive to use, even though, I mean, I didn't think at that time, I didn't really think it was too insensitive, but I was like, you know what? It's hella funny. I mean, why can't I say it? This is my people. So I transitioned, Erection 415, and then now I'm Spicy Panda Roll.
Sick.
Yeah.
And is Justice?
I go by Fight for Justice. It's the 12 characters, so it's FITE, the number 4, and then Justice. Which leads to some funny instances of online play where, everyone just kind of reads the first syllable of your name and tries to yell that at you as you're playing.
Yeah.
So often people are just like, hey, Fitty, over here. We need you, Fitty.
Not even fight.
Not even fight. And I'm like, dude, Fitty. I don't care. Let's go with it.
That's pretty good, though. That's a good one.
Did we all grow up on Xbox?
No, I was a Sony fanboy until a few years ago.
I started I never owned the first PlayStation. I got an Xbox, first one. Yeah, first big gaming console I got was before N60. After N64 was the Xbox.
Did all of us experience the growing pains of the Xbox lobby?
No.
Like in Halo?
Like in Halo, the Xbox lobby.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The one thing I remember most about the old Xbox was the user interface. I like that green menu, which was just like so fucking like difficult to navigate, just because like it was so slow. Now like the UIs you get now, it's like it's insane. It already knows what you want to do before you do.
Well, it's basically a computer now, right?
Essentially, it's just a really nice computer now. We've come a long way. But the lobbies were toxic, dude. But good times though.
I have said some things in those lobbies. I've told this to Justice last time we were on video about the harsh realities of the Xbox lobbies. And I've definitely said some things that would not repeat now at this age. But back when I was in college, I was like, all right, what's the most hateful thing I could say to a person right now? And, I'm not proud of it, but I said it. There are lines, and I kind of just like fisted my way through that line, Did
you cross them for yourself personally, or did someone call you out like in the moment?
Man,
you know what I mean?
It's, obviously it's not a proud moment, but it's one of those things where you get put into a lobby where you can't see another person. So there's no face to a name. And I just wanted to started throwing out some like hateful messages as much as I can. Just try to play some mind games when playing this kind of like PvP. When you're playing against somebody else, it's not just a physical game you're playing, but you're also playing a mental game. And some of the things I said definitely borderline would push a lot of person's mental health, and it is not great.
That's a good segue, dude.
Thank you. I tried. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely, things I said were not great. They're just, I can't imagine how it would be like the other person receiving it, who is playing this game just for fun. Somebody who doesn't get a lot of time off and then jumps into a game of Halo and then gets called a bunch of names.
Yeah. I don't think people really like understood at the moment like how like hurtful it was like to have like hundreds of people yell shit at you all the time for like that many times, at such a young age too. I don't think people really realize. I think nowadays people realize it more, like that like internet bullying and all that kind of stuff is like very prevalent. But I feel like when we were growing up, like you're describing it, you were just fucking teeing off on people, not realizing like what you were saying,
Sorry, I thought you were going to say something. I was like, all right, go ahead.
Trying to think of like, I don't, because it doesn't have anything to do with gaming so much, but I feel like it's just an observation I've been seeing lately where I feel like for our generation in particular, we were kind of the first arbiters of the internet age and was kind of the people that were, the first monkey shot into space. We were in the chat rooms first. We were kind of seeing how internet culture developed and how these kind of social contracts developed in this digital space. And I think that's like a lot of the weird stuff we're seeing today is that like, because the technology has opened up to so many more people of varying age groups, like all our parents that told us like, yeah, don't believe everything you read on the internet, better be nice on there, are now the people that are believing everything they read on the internet and like have this weird mechanism where it's like, hey, this person yelled at me on the internet, I need to yell at them. And it's like, no, that wasn't a one-on-one directive. This is just like a shouting space. We grew up on this. We're teenagers going through this, so we know how to kind of get through this playground of weird insensitivities on the internet. We don't take it too seriously. And there's people that are like just hopping on the internet for the first day. Maybe it's their retirement. Maybe they just got a new phone for their 12th birthday or whatever. And they're being like, oh, I need to start yelling at people on the internet because that's how you do it. And so it's just kind of this weird disconnect where a lot of people like us who got that out of our system at a younger age were like, yeah, no, we're going to yell shit on an Xbox lobby or get into angry PSN messages back and forth after Dark Souls matches. That's kind of out of our systems, but so many more people are just waking up to that for the first time because the technology is becoming more and more, intrusive in our day-to-day lives.
Yeah, and the internet that they're being introduced to is like way different than the internet that we were introduced to, Like it's just like it's it's way more comments. Like I don't remember like going through comments like when I was a kid, like a lot, you know. It's just way more like, I don't know, social media is kind of like the what everyone's getting hit with right off the bat now.
I mean, not unlike a video game, they've kind of gamified like the channels and the paths that we kind of take on these internet rabbit holes, whether that's on social media or informative sites or like Wikipedias or like TV tropes or whatever. They've designed them like video games to be paths that we can just kind of get that neuro fucking serotonin hit and get us where we need to go.
Yeah, dude, I could talk about this shit all day. Like the internet, like I don't want this to get about the internet because the internet.
Yeah, I was trying to segue back to games. Gaming, gaming.
Well, you have an education in this kind of stuff, right, Emilio?
Yeah, I have a degree in psychology.
Yes.
And I worked at a school, and I was counseling kids, high schoolers and like younger kids. And I remember there's a couple of kids in high school in particular who like were really like into gaming, but like it was to a point where like it kind of was like an unhealthy thing, you know? And one of them, we were able to like work out a contract with the parents and stuff, and like they used it kind of like as a reward system. But then a couple of other ones, like it was like obsessed, you know? And it was like games like, I don't know if you ever played Fortnite. You probably have played Fortnite or tried it at least, you know?
I think we all know what like, Fortnite is. We're not that old.
Yeah. But like,
I wish I could
like,
not know what Fortnite was.
Yeah.
Dude, they would talk about it so much that I started playing it and I got into it. And like, I could see like why it was so appealing. Like, it's really, really fun. Battle Royales, that genre is like really like high octane, like action right away, you know? So it's like, I could see the draw. And like, when it first came out, it was like a really, really like really booming community. And then it just kind of got toxic, you know, like all communities kind of do in gaming.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know if it's as toxic as like Overwatch. I think the Overwatch community is hella toxic.
Ooh, what's the most, dude? I don't know if we want to get into this, but I've heard some bad stuff about the Destiny community.
Oh man, dude, the Destiny community.
I don't know if that's hot takes, dude. I don't know if we need to talk about it, but the Destiny community took a hit, I think, last year in terms of like, you know, just some like sketchy behavior.
I think
we don't have to.
If it's like it depends on like what you mean by sketchy behavior. Are you talking about like the toxicity between players, the forums, or like all the sexual harassment stuff that came out a couple months ago?
That stuff, like the toxicity, man. Like the yelling at each other, like, you know, the shit talking. That's like all part of gaming, but like that shit is not part of gaming. Is like at all, you know.
Yeah, you know, that's where like the toxic masculinity culture kind of kicked in. I know a couple of Destiny 2 players. What the fuck? I know a couple of Destiny 2 players were accused of treating women badly. That was I was looking for a better way to phrase it.
I think they're kind of like trying to leverage their position in the scene to like, you know, for sexual favors or whatever. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna try to name out names because I don't want to draw that kind of attention.
I literally don't remember any names. Yeah.
But there was also a case where a clan a clan's private Discord was leaked, and within that Discord, we're talking about nudes or things they have done to DDoS other members of the community, or just basically, dude, it was just like toxic, man.
Yeah, it was really bad. And like, dude, I mean, that also like just goes straight back into mental health, dude. You don't really realize like that these actions that you're having in this private Discord server, like, have real life like consequences on people, and like, you know, like make people feel like anxious and unsafe, you know. I don't know, that shit, I remember that shit was really bad.
It's just like where are they mentally, where they need or feel the need to do such vile things to another player within a game or that's supposed to promote friendship and happiness? You know, how did it even turn into that? You know, how did that obsession turn into something that was poisonous to a community?
I mean, it's kind of tough because it's tough with Destiny. I mean, I know Overwatch and I play both of them pretty regularly, and it's a different kind of toxicity. I don't know. It's almost more befuddling in Destiny, where you have these kind of player versus enemy objectives, and everyone kind of has to work together as a team more so than actually fighting a live opponent a lot of the times. So I don't know, there's just kind of that quick competitive nature and kind of what we're talking about with the gamification of this stuff, where it's that quick hit to your brain. And I feel like a lot of the times it can get warped. And in these chat rooms, that quick little win, having that quick little joke that does cut to the bone, even if it doesn't really hurt the person, it feels like a win to you. You don't see them. They're on the other side of the chat room. They're on screen somewhere else. They're not a thing to you. They're just this figment that your imagination that you assign to it, like these video game characters. And then if you just can say something hurtful or control them or do something like that, it's kind of the same, serotonin hit that a lot of the games give us. And I feel like that can be a cascading snowball effect with that too.
For sure.
Just to stroke your own ego, eh?
Yeah, I mean, there's plenty of non-gamers stroking their egos too. Let's not, just single out the gamers for having narcissism issues.
Yeah,
I know we're talking about like a dark subject, but like gaming is just like, this is like a little,
So in the some of the stuff I posted into the group, in the gaming and mental health article written by healthygamer.gg, they were saying how video games how people use video games as a means to either cope with their mental health or as an avenue to project what they want in the world through video games. Did I word that right? I'm a better writer than I'm a speaker. I'm going to say that out right now. Yeah, so basically,
I think I know what you're trying to say.
So basically, if there's
an escape, right?
Yeah, it's just not only as an escape, but as an avenue to do stuff. It basically, I forgot his name, but I'll put it on the screen. The doctor who was saying this on healthygamer.gg was saying that if you have these underlying mental conditions, then if you don't work on it in real life, then video games just become a catalyst for what you want to do, or a catalyst for your negativity. And I think that's kind of what happened too with that Destiny community, how they use video games as a means to attack somebody, or to attack their gaming persona.
I mean, it's kind of tough to say. Video games as a whole are probably the most immersive type of multimedia experience we have available. And outside of book reading, where you're actually kind of creating the images in your head, video games are probably the most immersive experience. And it's interesting because this technology is just so new, I love films, I love filmmaking, and that stuff has been in the cultural consciousness for more than a century. And so you can kind of see the cycles and waves of people saying that movies are great and they're going to change everything, and people saying the movies are corrupting all of us and are these terrible influences. And we've seen that cycle kind of ebb and flow many times throughout cinematic history. And so I think we're going to continue to see that flow happen a lot in video game culture too. And just as the games also continue to get exponentially more immersive, especially with VR and Oculus and that kind of stuff rolling out more and more in the future, there's just going to continue to be those kinds of conversations. And the people that are using this technology to kind of maybe without fully understanding it to reach these ends, whether that is kind of a psychological, biochemical reaction, an ego-driven one, or they're going to be the people that just know how to use this technology and the tool for what it is, just a little fun escape, a little bit of power fantasy, just to kind of blow off some steam and have some fun and just play out this thought exercise of, what if I was living in a cyberpunk future? What would it look like? I think Grand Theft Auto is an example of a great satire that is both satirical of American culture and video game culture. And that's also kind of blown up to be this whole thing into itself.
Yeah. And I mean, if you're a shitty person, you're going to do shitty things anyways, that doesn't excuse it, but, and as a fair warning, in the BBC article, Video Games and Mental Health, it said that only 0.3% of gamers experience or go through this type of I guess we could just call it a mental disorder, or gaming rage, whatever it is. They say it falls underneath the umbrella of like mental health and gaming addiction, but they say
Is it in
only
the DSM?
huh?
Hold on. No, keep going. My bad. Let me interrupt you.
Yeah, I mean, you just said that the what Andy Price-Blisky, a researcher at the Oxford University Internet Institute, said that only like 0.3% of gamers are like this, and it sucks because usually the loudest or ones who make the most noise kind of becomes the face of gaming.
Like the people.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's true. I mean, like I know of like some streamers and some content creators who like are do it for the shock value, and I guess they are really good at gaming too. So like, is that kind of what you're talking about? Like people kind of like clout farming?
Yeah, maybe with clout farming, but I was talking in the aspect of like why are they so negative?
Like, why are they toxic to other players?
Yeah,
I think it's an ego thing, dude. Especially like in the Fortnite community. If you hear some of these like, because the most of the pros are like 16, 15 years old. And if you hear them talk after tournaments, dude, they're just talking so much shit about their opponents, dude. It's just so toxic, and it's just like such like a I'm better than you thing. And I think because like being a gamer has been a little more popularized now, I feel like there's a lot more competition, and like you always want to like have an edge on your competition. So I don't know. I feel like it's a competitive thing / ego thing, but I think it all ties back to like toxic behavior. I think what you're talking about though, like the disorder of like gaming rage, is more of like the kid who throws his controller at his TV. If he like loses a round or something, like something that's just so out of the ordinary.
Just this close.
Yeah, something that's so out of the ordinary, some like a reaction that just doesn't match like what happens, like just a completely irrational reaction, that I think that's kind of more what the gaming rage is.
Because I've definitely seen a lot of compilations online of Halo Rage where somebody just throws a freaking controller through their TV, and I'm just like, what? I've never gotten to that point, but
I've broken a monitor one time when I was like 16 or whatever, and I was playing Counter-Strike, because that's like the game that I kind of like my first like game that I really 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 put a lot of time in was Counter-Strike. And I would like lag all the time because like I had a shitty Dell. And one time we were playing some like, I don't know, some match or whatever, and I froze and I just fucking popped the screen, and I didn't think I hit it that hard, but it cracked, and then like it was shitty.
Damn.
The only time. I will admit that.
Have you broken anything, Justice?
Not purposefully. I feel it though. Like definitely times I can see it happening, and if I had a TV to spare, maybe it would have happened by now. But like, I just see the whole process of going to get another TV and how painful all of that is. And so I hang on to my controller, but I can see it happening there. I'm not going to rule it out for the future. I don't know. Something might push me over the edge one day, but so far, not yet.
So you use objective reasoning to curve your tilt.
Kinda, yeah. I just don't get me wrong. I think I was had that kind of tantrum behavior a lot growing up. So I was very used to like kind of breaking my own toys, and then someone being like, "You just kind of played yourself, dude. Like no one else is really affected other than you. So don't do that." And so I think just enough of that finally sank in, where it's like, oh yeah, don't smash this thing because I will have to buy new things of the things I smashed.
Good. That's good, man. You don't need to, especially I think when you're younger, it was easier to break your own toys because you didn't buy your own toys. But now when you are broke, post college, paying off loans, you're like, $100 is $100. So
yeah,
breaking that shit was maybe bad.
I mean, looking back on it, it's obviously a stupid decision, but fuck, dude, I just didn't want to lag.
It's a reflexive thing. I feel it too, and it's just like it happens worse with like computer monitors, where you're just like, I didn't even mean to hit you that hard.
Yeah, you're so fragile, especially back in the day, dude.
It's almost like your kid brother. It's like you know, stop crying. It's not that bad. Don't tell mom, computer monitor. Quit being a baby. You're fine.
What's so what was fragile? The monitor or your ego, or your masculinity? Everything.
Oh, it was my internet that was fragile at that moment. For sure, it was my internet. That was it.
Yeah. I know we just talked a bunch of shit about like video games. Well, we didn't talk shit, but we just discussed the negative parts of it. But there also are positive things about video games, which we all enjoy.
There's a lot of positives, dude, especially like because of like what's going on with the virus and stuff like that. And we got to be inside more, and like things aren't open. Like I've definitely been gaming more, and I've been gaming with like my close friends. And dude, I don't really like crave a lot of like social interactions because I'm kind of getting it like on Discord, like playing games, like discovering new games. Like we're all playing Cyberpunk right now, and we're all usually in the Discord channel, like talking, not ruining it for each other, but like, just talking about like, oh shit, did you see this? Did you see that kind of thing? And it's been pretty fun, but it's like that with other games too, I'm sure you guys have similar experiences with your friends, like in Destiny or whatever else you guys are playing.
Yeah, I feel like with Destiny particularly over the last couple months, just kind of reconnected with some friends, or at least found a new medium for us to kind of play together. I mean,
yeah,
I'm kind of the only one still playing Overwatch, but like we all kind of get together for like Sea of Thieves or maybe Destiny here and there. But those are
what are you playing Overwatch?
Yeah, I mostly just kind of do quick play. Lucio's my boy. Yeah. I'm a Lucio main.
Oh, you Lucio? Okay.
Can't get enough.
I played Ashe a lot.
She's like the perfect character for me, but like I also I'm not big on DPS, and I think that's probably why I have a decent experience in Overwatch a lot of the time, is I'm not trying to be like an aggro 14-year-old Fortnite streamer. I'm just like happy to throw out some heals and speed boost some fools.
Spitting fire over here, bro.
Dude, I mean, I always think that I have like the 15-year-old reaction time, but I don't. My reaction time is 30 years old.
Yeah,
it takes my brain a little longer to fucking react to shit.
Starting to realize that more and more these days.
Dude, especially if you go against some like good team and those kids are like 14 years old, just destroying you.
Is reaction time such a big thing in Overwatch? Because I played Overwatch and it seemed kind of slow to me.
No, it's in tactical shooters though. It's a bigger thing, like Counter-Strike and Valorant. For sure, your action time is bigger, but I don't know. I didn't play that much. If you're playing DPS in Overwatch, I think that your action time is more because you got to aim more.
They kind of mix it up enough in Overwatch. There's also like enough kind of characters that are close range as far range, and kind of just a mishmash of characters that aren't purely Twitch reflex and are kind of more slow and methodical and are kind of more support based, or more, kind of controlling of the action instead of the damage. So there, it's not. You can definitely get away with not having like super quick, sniper Twitch shooting. But yeah, I feel like more with like Destiny or something like that. If I'm doing Crucible or something like that, people wipe me away, and I'm like, I feel like I should have got them. Doesn't feel right.
Oh, just wait until you play against the new gen console players, dude. It's a totally different game. Oh, like I was playing against PS5, dude. I was playing against PS5 players in Crucible. And I was like, man, why is this Titan moving so fast? Because he's definitely not lag switching. He's not glitching. It's nothing. It's not a connection thing. But then I realized he's just moving smoother just because he's playing on the PS5, man. And his controller
players' movements are so much smoother sometimes in certain games, like in Fortnite specifically. Like there's double movement binds, like on keyboard, but on controller, you can basically run forward and look to the side at the same time. And like having that kind of awareness in the game gives you a big advantage. I'm not sure how it is in Destiny, but it might be something similar where like they can turn the camera and also run in a certain direction. So the movement for them is like a little smoother.
No, what I think it is that in the next gen consoles, you're able to adjust your field of range. No, field of view, your FOV.
So you see.
So you can
more?
So yeah, you can see wider. On like PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, the field of vision is like more narrow. So now on the next gen consoles, you're allowed to see not only a wider field of view, but you also get 60 frames per second. And some TVs can allow you to get up to 140 or 120 frames per second on Destiny. So when
but your graphics card has to be able to put out that many frames.
But the PS5 can.
Oh, it can put out 120?
I think it's 120. Yeah. The PS5 and the Xbox Series X they're saying that it could be stronger than some lower grade gaming PCs. But if you have a 3080, I mean, of course not. But like if you're just running like a 1060 60 frames per second on a shitty processor, then obviously. But it was I think you're at a huge disadvantage too when you're playing against somebody who has a bigger field, who has a more wide field of view, and more frames per second. Man, like they're just smoother. Like Michael Jackson.
Well, if you're played on a 240 hertz monitor with like a really nice graphics card, it's like a totally different experience.
My laptop's like that. I can play Destiny at 144 frames per second, dude. Oh,
completely different.
It's so smooth, man. But circle back to what we're talking about before that tangent. The community keeps bringing you back to these games, Destiny and Overwatch.
The community brings you guys back to those games?
Yeah, I think that's what Justice is saying, right?
I mean, it's mostly, I'm someone that loves world building and lore and everything, so kind of not understanding what's going on a lot in Destiny is kind of nice, especially as they continue to advance the narrative overall and continue to add more and more content and kind of play with some of the stuff they've already established. So it's interesting. Overwatch, I just kind of keep going back to just because I know some of the characters well enough that it's a quick little competitive sprint. But I'm actually pretty underwhelmed with the amount of lore they've been putting out in the last couple of years. So I would say, maybe there's more of a community involvement with Destiny in that there's kind of like actual excitement and discussion about what's happening and the content being released and what that means for the metagame and the meta narrative and for the story they're trying to tell overall, which is much more important to an MMO. But yeah, Overwatch, it just seems like at least the community, when I get into it, is more often just like, here's updates for the characters that are nerfs and buffs, and here's strats that they're using in the pros and this and that. And then I just kind of start to very much lose interest because I'm not at my peak Overwatch skill anymore. So I'm like, I remember when I was great with these characters, and it just seems like they keep nerfing them and adding new ones, and like, what's the point? Which is kind of a similar discussion with the Destiny loot stuff, but at least they kind of keep changing it up.
Back in my day, this character didn't have this ability.
Yeah.
Back in my day, the meta was this.
But
the meta's always changing.
But yeah, so that's a story for me with Destiny. Like even though the Destiny does have a lot of toxicity to it, especially if you look at the Facebook Destiny group page. Oh man, dude, that place is vile. Yeah, but there are positive things from it, and that's the reason why I keep coming back to it. All my friends playing it, and because my friends play it, it makes me want to go back to it because right now America is back into, I don't know, quote unquote quarantine. We have a curfew at 10 p.m. over here in LA, and Destiny gives me that social need, or that it fulfills that social aspect of my life where I'm not getting it right now. And as humans, I feel like we all need some sort of human touch. And if I can't get human touch in a platonic sense, not in just a weird sexual
interactions.
Social interactions. That's what I meant to say. Not touching each other, but like in a social interaction, we need it.
I don't think anyone was thinking touching each other until you said it.
Yeah.
Just emotional touching, not physical touching.
Yeah.
I want to feel you through the screen.
I want to feel you like Patrick Swayze drew ghosts. But yeah, Destiny fulfills that, and I think if it wasn't for that, if I didn't have friends, I probably wouldn't play Destiny as much. But so that sense of community during a time of quarantine is one of the positive things I think about video games, and I enjoy it a lot.
It's really true, though. I mean, I feel like every game has their own community, and especially like you kind of make your own mini community with your friends, and you guys all start to like. At least for me, my experience is like with my 3 friends, that it's basically it's me, my buddy Joe, Cameron, and my buddy Brian, and like we're just always trying new games. We're like focusing on one game We kind of like built like our own little mini community. And dude, Discord makes things so much easier too to stay in communication with everyone. Like just a place to hang out, and place to talk and stuff. So I definitely feel that about like the looking for like social interactions, like community stuff like that, where like when we're in a time where that's basically taken away from us, we kind of have to find it in different ways. And yeah, I guess I'm pretty lucky to find it in this way. It's like a chill, healthy way, as long as you don't overdo it, you know. It's pretty good.
There could be worse ways of spending our time, like alcoholism, but
Yes, that could be way worse for sure.
yeah. Well, you
It's
know,
only a problem if you can't remember the video games that you play. And so
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get some water real quick. I'll be right back.
or when you start LARPing. No, I'm just kidding around. Actually, LARPing seems hella badass. I hella want to LARP.
What'd you LARP as, dude?
I think Justice was to say something about this.
I've just been a very involved with the Heroes group for most of my life, so it's the most extent of my LARPing, not actually the physical stuff. But I know some people that like have gone deep into it, and I'm like almost kind of curious, like what kind of investment is it to make a Geralt costume of Rivia with your silver swords and your medallions? It's seems like kind of a big commitment.
Yeah.
Dude, it's a lot of money making those, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Some of that fabric shit is expensive.
Mm.
Well, you go get some water, and I'm gonna talk about a story, and then we can talk about LARPing when we come back. So to go back to the positive side of like gaming and stuff, before we talk about like LARPing, you know, I think I told this to Emilio yesterday, where for me, I use gaming to fulfill a certain void in my life, or to help me fix certain things. I don't know how to phrase that, because I think towards my late 20s, I was drinking a lot, and I worked as a bartender, and video games helped me lean off of alcohol. I went from drinking, I don't know, 5-6 times a week to once a month, if that, you know. And
That's great, dude.
yeah, and for me, you know, drinking was more of a social thing. I never drank when I got home. I always drank when I was with people. If I wasn't with people, I never drank. And again, it kind of goes back to me wanting some sort of community or something, some place, you know, to hang out, some place to belong. So when my fear was like, if I stopped drinking, I would lose my friends. And then, you know, here comes gaming. I started gaming. I found a new group of friends. Obviously, the friends that I had as a bartender, they're great people. I didn't lose them when I became sober. I know some people do lose friends when they get sober, but I didn't lose them. They're great guys, which is a good news for me. It was great for me. So if gaming wasn't there, I don't know what would have happened. I probably would have eventually.
Like that.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't like that bad, like my brother. But for me, I knew that I was gonna lean off eventually, but I just needed that extra push, you know, that extra comfort, knowing that I have some place to go when I need or crave some sort of human interaction. And gaming was that for me.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think gaming for me as a positive has definitely allowed me to like feel calmer. Like I definitely think that if I had free time and like I didn't have gaming, I'd probably get into things I probably shouldn't, you know? And so I feel like gaming, if anything, it's allowed me to like be calmer, have something to do, like something that I feel like is challenging like my brain and challenging like my ability. Like I feel like when I do play games, like I try hard to win the games that I play, and like my friends also are kind of like that too. So it's cool that I found some like-minded people who like to play these specific games and like I don't know, like the competition, you know. So I feel like to me that's really like kind of helped me like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of helped me like take the edge off a little bit, you know, in like a healthy, constructive way. And like, I mean, it's not healthy if you overdo it, you know. So there's always has to be a balance of stuff, you know. But I don't know. I feel like for me, it's been a complete positive, you know, and I really, really enjoy it. And like, I really like talking about it. I really like reading about it. I really like seeing like what's next, you know. So it's kind of become like a hobby, passion kind of thing, you know. So I don't know. I feel like we have like similar experiences in the sense that like it's been a positive for us, and it's kind of been something in our lives that's like I wouldn't say like a crutch, but like something that's like just beneficial, and good.
Well, I mean, if it's a crutch to help me stay sober, then I think it's obviously a positive thing.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people go through the same thing too, but it's just it's you're right. It can become obsessive sometimes.
yeah,
But
dude. I teeter with that sometimes too.
But I think sometimes I think it's better to be obsessive over something like this where it challenges you mentally and builds like a positive community than it is to be blackout drunk 4 a.m.
Oh, a million percent,
in some
dude.
warehouse.
A million percent, a million percent, or like at 4 a.m. just eating like 5 slices of cheese pizza.
But to be fair,
like,
you eat 5 slices of cheese pizza when you're gaming anyways. So.
Oh, dude, stop.
But yeah, that was my story before Justice got back. Just to add on to that
right,
before we
you're right
moved
though,
on.
dude. I mean, like, that's it. Like, for you personally, it sounds like it's been like a really complete positive, and for me, like, it's been a complete positive. I know for my friends too, it's been like I know for them, it's been like a good avenue to socialize and a good avenue to like be creative too. Like, because in these games, like, I feel like when people think of like shooting games, they think of like all you're doing is shooting, when in reality there's like, I don't know, strategy. There's like different ways you can shoot the guns, different guns you could use, like a lot of creativity in these games. And I feel like that is also something that I really enjoy. And it's almost like adds to the challenge of it. And I know that my friends kind of enjoy that too, like how creative you could be in a game to win it. There's just like so much that I think goes into it that people don't really ever talk about that much.
Yeah, and the camaraderie.
Dude, the camaraderie is what's up. That's why I made it. That's why like I have a Discord and stuff. My friends are in that Discord. Like I have other friends in that Discord. It's fun, dude. It's cool. Probably gonna have it for forever, honestly.
So LARPing, Justice, go ahead.
And like I said, haven't done anything sort of Renaissance, medieval era. Mostly kind of humans versus zombies group the SF State group that kind of didn't help co-found. People had already founded it, but I got kind of swept up into their kind of organization. And yeah, it's been a pretty positive experience in my whole life.
I've never LARPed. Ever since I saw the movie Role Models, I've always wanted to LARP, because it was that movie. And I hear that LARPing is not the same as Role Models or how they did it with Paul Rudd and Sean William Scott, my favorite actor, by the way. But
Stifler,
dude, I love Stifler, but this is a different conversation,
Stifler,
man.
Stifler has range, bro.
Yeah,
Stifler
he does.
Has range.
Sean William Scott, yes, that's his name. He actually didn't want to be Stifler when he first got the role. This is a different subject. He studied Shakespeare, but that's that aside.
Dude, hold on. You're Sean.
Dude, I know my Sean William Scott.
That's
dude.
it.
He also voiced the guy in Ice Age, and he was in the video game, the Ice Age video game.
Who in Ice Age? Which one?
I don't remember, but he was the voice in that video game.
All right, hold on. I gotta fact check this. I got it.
Yeah. But to keep going, yeah, I mean, I tried cosplaying here and there, but I never LARPed. I know some people you play, was it Grand Theft Auto 5? Is it 5? We're on 5, right? I can't tell what Grand Theft Auto we're on because
it's the most recent one, yes.
Yeah, so people do like the Grand Theft Auto role playing. I've never seen it, but kind of interested though.
Oh, he plays a ferret character.
Favorite character.
Like he has a twin kind of character. I think it's a ferret. I don't really know what animal it is, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm just gonna say ferret though. It looks like one.
The squirrel-looking guy, right? The guy,
yeah.
Is he the guy with the nuts that creates the Ice Age?
No. It's like this long kind of like a.
Is it one of the sloths?
I don't think he's a sloth either. I don't know if you're googling it.
Oh shit! No, he does. Yeah, he looks like a ferret. He's like a weasel.
It's a ferret, like a weasel. Weasel. Thank you, a weasel. That's what it is.
Yeah, we'll talk about Goons someday, Eric. You and I. We'll talk.
Goons. Goons 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen both of them.
We'll talk. Don't worry. It's for a different podcast, different time.
Yeah. What were we talking about before I got into Stifler, dude? LARPing, cosplaying.
Oh, you're talking about LARPing
role-playing.
and cosplaying, dude.
We're talking about role-playing games, yeah, RPGs, or just role-playing in general. So people get real into it. You know, they get into the Grand Theft Auto role-playing.
Dude, if we're talking about MMORPGs, let me just say, World of Warcraft took so much of my money in so many years of my life, but I'm content. I'm happy. I'm not angry.
So before we get into, I want to talk about World of Warcraft, but Final Fantasy VII Remake won Best RPG at the Video Games Award today.
Oh, dude, really?
Yeah, I did. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake won Best RPG. And I guess the game of the year is fucking The Last of Us 2. But I don't want to get into that debate.
Should have been Valorant, bro.
Bro, it should have been fucking Ghost of Tsushima.
Should have been Valorant, dude.
What's your pick, Justice? Who you think should have won? Do you think The Last of Us 2 was rightfully?
I mean, I haven't played either of those games really. I mean, just from what I've heard, I guess Ghost of Tsushima seems just so much more impressive. Last of Us feels like a gimme, almost kind of like an Oscar situation where it's kind of like they need to be grandfathered in just because they're this kind of prestigious title and this and that.
Hot takes, baby, hot takes. Let's do it.
I mean, I don't know.
True, though.
It's just I don't actually, I don't know that we can actually look at anything from this year and give it a proper award. Just because, like, I mean, potentially Cyberpunk would have been out, a couple months ago had everything been going swimmingly in 2020. But let's not delve into what ifs. Let's just what is.
Oh, also, Valorant lost to, I think, Among Us in best multiplayer game.
Really?
They
Well, I
lost
can
to-
see
they
why.
did.
I mean, Among Us is definitely like an easier game to play, more accessible.
I mean, I think it's a kind of cool story, man. It was like an indie developer, right? They first made it was first a mobile game and then became a computer game.
Yeah, I mean, just the concept is really fun and interesting, and if you get a bunch of people, it's just fun to play with your friends. You're basically trying to fool your friends all the time, or people. It's I don't know if you ever played it. It's really fun. I've had like 1 or 2 good games.
I've never played it.
It's really fun.
I've always wanted to play it. It looks cool to backstab your friends.
Well, yeah, dude. If you
In a
want
positive
to
way.
get a game, bro.
In a positive way. Backstabbing in a positive way. But yeah, man. So World of Warcraft. I've never played World of Warcraft. I never played. The closest thing that maybe I played is StarCraft, but I know that's that's an RTS. It's not an MMORPG. I tried playing Phantasy Star Online 2, which is more of an action MMORPG, but I didn't put a lot of time into it. I bought the season pass, the first season, and the Sega pass, but that was like $60. But other than that, I didn't put too much money into it. I know a
lot of time, money into those games, dude.
Yeah, but World of Warcraft, it's a subscription-based game, right?
Yeah, it's like $12 a month.
So you just pay $12 a month. You have to buy the game.
You had to buy the game, and then you had to buy the subscription.
Did you play World of Warcraft, Justice?
I did not. My only experience was World of Warcraft was like my freshman year roommate. One of the dudes, just like he subsisted off World of Warcraft. That was like how he sustained himself. It was like the nourishment of World of Warcraft. Like he was a nice enough guy, would go home every weekend. I think he lived like, I don't want to say in the East Bay, but maybe in the East Bay, and just kind of would like take the train home every weekend. So he'd spend the weekend at home, but yeah, he would just like basically spend like his roommate was always gone, so he was just kind of in his room chilling out, always playing World of Warcraft, while me and my like actual suite mate or whatever like we're watching movies and TV all the time. And every once in a while I'd be like, hey dude, we got a pizza, do you want a slice of pizza or anything? And he'd like maybe take a slice, but that was kind of all I ever saw him eat.
Ma'am?
Yes, hon.
More Hot Pockets!
Right away, hon.
That's uber cool.
And so I think it was just like he just lived off of World of Warcraft. Nice enough guy, was a great guy, but like, didn't do a whole lot of other stuff. And I get it. I mean, we're all nervous, anxious people. And that's why I can fully sympathize with that. Like, yeah, dude, I fucking get it. love to fucking play video games all the time too. But yeah, just didn't ever really make that connection with him.
Wait, did he mine in World of Warcraft?
I don't fucking know what. Like again, he just went into his room, his area, and like he would come out maybe every once in a while to eat a piece of candy or like have a slice of pizza with us. But he was pretty much
dude, so he was probably fucking grinding, dude. He was probably leveling his character, getting all like the potions he needed for the raid. He's probably raiding on weeknights with his guild, multiple hours. That shit's like tedious, you know?
Yeah.
World of Warcraft is where Leroy Jenkins came from, right?
Oh, it's a lot better than we usually do. All right, chums up. Ready, guys?
Let's do this. Leroy Jenkins!
Oh my God. God damn it, Leroy.
Oh yeah, dude, iconic.
Oh yeah,
That area, I think it's Blackrock's Lair or whatever. That used to be really, really difficult. Like that video you see of them doing it is like those guys are so serious. Well, I think it was proven that shit
Dude,
was like staged.
That shit was staged. It broke it shattered my reality, dude. When I found out that Leroy Jenkins was a stage incident, I was like these fuckers got us.
It's one of the best videos of all time.
They clickbait the shit out of us, dude. I still remember it to this day.
You can get a title in World of Warcraft, and it's your name, Jenkins. Like you just it hovers over your head. Yeah, you can get a title.
Damn, dude, that is crazy. But yeah, dude, fucking World of Warcraft. You know, I never got into World of Warcraft. The games I played was like Halo, Final Fantasy, but Final Fantasy was an offline RPG. It wasn't an MMORPG. So I've always wondered why did people play MMORPGs? Is there more to it than just a community aspect, or why?
I think for me specifically, World of Warcraft is I already had a familiarity with Warcraft 3 and Frozen Throne, like the I don't know what kind of what'd you call it, RTS?
Real time strategy, yeah.
Yeah, so that I had familiarity with those games, and then when World of Warcraft came out, like I was already like just as I was saying earlier, like the lore of like a genre or like a game or whatever, like I already kind of knew the lore, and so like I kind of was like, oh, this is an easy transition. And then when I got into World of Warcraft, like just the the open worldness, the online aspect, like all that kind of stuff is just like I don't think it was done so cleanly before. So I was done hook, line, and sinker like right off the bat. Like it was just too many cool new things at once for me, you know. And so that's why I started playing it.
Did you ever play Diablo?
I did play Diablo.
But Diablo was offline, right?
Yes, and now you can play it like co-op online, but it was never like in World of Warcraft, dude. There was like an economy and like an auction house and like a bank and like things like that, like aspects in the games that I never had heard of before, like cool looting systems, like raids, instances, like all that kind of stuff that I'd never played before. So that's kind of why it drew me in. There's just so much to do.
Dude, do you guys remember the web series, The Guild? It's on Netflix now, but it was a web series.
Alicia Day series?
Yeah. That was a web series, right? Was it on Newgrounds or was it on YouTube?
I think it was a web series. I don't remember where it was. I haven't watched it.
But yeah, I mean, like that web series is based on a game kind of like World of Warcraft, where there is a guild. And the premise of the series is like somebody takes off with the guild money and the weapons and have to start from scratch.
Dude,
is that true? Though. That happens? Yeah. Tell us a story, dude, bro. Tell us a story.
Dude, you like ninja looting is like a serious thing where like someone will like organize a raid or whatever, you know, and like you'll fucking battle for hours and hours and hours, and then you get to the final boss or whatever. Then an item like coin drops, because it used to be like item coins where like you get the coin, and each like there's like 3 coins, and each of those coins had armor for 3 different classes. And say you'd get to the end and the raid leader would literally just poach it and leave the raid because raid leader sets the looting rules. And so, dude, that kind of shit happened a lot, to the point where like people would report people to Blizzard and Blizzard would ban them from the game.
Wait, so only 3 coins would drop?
Yeah, in some raids only like 3 coins and like other stuff, but dude,
for like a 30-person raid?
Yep.
So who gets the loot?
Yep. So it used to work like this. You used to have to go to weekly raids and gain points by going to the raids. and then at a certain point you would have enough points or seniority that you were like next in line, and like they would only give the coins or the loot to the people who like were performing, basically like damage, healing, or things like that. If you're performing, you get the loot. If you weren't, you'd be like on the second tier.
What?
It was crazy, dude. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Dude, I feel like that would start crazy amounts of drama.
Dude, yes, dude. There'd be times where like me and my buddy Bear was like this other friend who like his name's Alex, but we call him Bear. Like that was like my WoW buddy. Like that was my boy. Like we would always play raids and stuff or whatever, and we'd be in the same raid group, and then there'd be times where we wouldn't get shit and we would just bitch to each other like, what the fuck? Like I did this, I did that, blah blah. Like you talk to them, I'll talk to them for you, kind of thing, you know. But that's how it works sometimes, dude. And that's why people would literally steal loot from people.
You
like,
steal loot even though you set the rules?
If you're the raid leader, you can set the rules however you want. You can take all the loot and just leave the raid, and that's it. Like, because once you pick it up, it's soul bound to you, which means like you can't trade it anymore. It's yours.
That sounds fucked up, dude.
Dude, it was crazy. That's why getting in raids and like getting to that far and like getting that gear was so crazy. Like when you saw someone like in one of the main cities with like this rare piece of gear, you're like, oh shit, this person fucks. Like this person fucking just destroys everyone, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's crazy. Toxic though sometimes, for sure.
This person fucks. Dude, like, okay, so my buddy, he plays Final Fantasy, what was it, 11, and he told me he was in a 20-person raid one time, or not 20-person, a 20-hour raid one time.
That's nuts, dude.
I can't imagine being a part of like a 20-hour raid and then not getting loot. I'd be fucking pissed. And just getting currency,
Yeah,
I'd be like, what the fuck, dude? I just wasted 20 hours of my life.
But you'd always go with like the feeling that you could get it though. Like I always went with the feeling. I never went to a raid where I was like, fuck, I'm just doing this to waste my time. I always went in and I always felt like I could get something. At least, because you got to think there's like 8 to like 12 to 15 bosses in a raid. Each boss is easier than the next, whatever. And when you get to the end, like that's like the high end loot. But in those boss fights, you'd probably get something that's better than your gear. It might not be like the best, but you would still get something. So I know I'm making it sound like no one gets anything, but you would get something, but it might not be like the top tier stuff, you know?
Oh, like a peasant prize.
A little better than a peasant prize, like I don't know, like a first sergeant versus like, I don't know what the ranks are, like a fucking, I don't know, chief, I don't know.
Oh, I suppose some meat on the bone is better than just the bone itself.
Yeah, dude, and that's kind of how it was, yeah.
I mean, so what kept you coming back? I would have quit. Dude, I would have been like, fuck this.
What kept me coming back was I played this character called the Rogue, and I just wanted these daggers, dude. Like I just wanted this pair of daggers, and I would just like I was already having fun with the game. Like there's different aspects than just like doing PvE, like player versus environment, which is like, you know, the raids, like the bosses, like all that this coordinated stuff. There's also PvP. The player versus player, you know, and then like that shit was a lot of fun. Like you would do world PvP where you would just go literally hunt the other faction. You would do like battlegrounds. Yeah, dude. And as a rogue, you just go invisible and you can like, you know, kind of you're like a ninja. So that was like another aspect of the game that I really liked was the PvP. And then I eventually went from PvE to just a full PvP player.
That's actually pretty cool. I didn't know you could go hunt other players like that.
Oh yeah. You can infiltrate like the main cities and stuff. You can like you can do all that stuff.
That's definitely a really cool power fantasy I've never explored.
Oh yeah, where you literally go like look for people. Yeah, dude, it's fun. It's fun.
So would you like go hunt people like on the scoreboard or put a bounty on them?
No, so say like I don't know, say there's like a continent, right, or whatever, and like there's like this higher level areas or whatever. And lower level areas, you would just go like to the common higher level areas and just kind of like run around, and you would see people kind of running with you, and they'd be the other faction, and you just go fuck them up. I don't know how else to explain it. You just go fuck them up. I'm sure like, well, in Destiny, you're not really fighting another faction that's like a player base. You're fighting like the computer that's the enemy, right? And then if you go into like a PvP mode, like a multiplayer mode, like that's your player versus player. But in World of Warcraft, like if you stepped out the door or whatever and you were in a contested area, you were fair game all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could get opened up on like all the time. Like you just get fucked.
So when you get fucked, do you also get looted? Like, do you
No,
drop
they don't
stuff?
take your loot. No, you don't drop stuff. They get honor points, and with those honor points, you can buy more PvP gear. At least that's how it was when I was playing. I don't know how it is now, because now it's like totally different. But if you killed a player, you wouldn't get their loot, but you would get honor points, and then those honor points you could use to buy PvP specific gear that was used for PvP specifically, because like it would give you attributes like pierce more armor and do more damage against players.
Mm-hmm.
So there was incentives to like go after the other faction, because you would get those points to buy better gear. They really did a good job of like making it like a lot of incentives on doing these things early on.
That sounds pretty badass.
Dude, it's really fucking badass, dude. It's so fun.
I know there were factions in Destiny 2, but I heard factions were different in Destiny 1. I didn't play Destiny 1, so I don't know. Justin, did you play it?
Nope.
Oh fuck, then we can't really talk about it. I don't know how those worked.
I didn't play Destiny 1 either. I only played Destiny 2.
But yeah, there's faction in Destiny 1, but I don't know how they work, because Destiny 2 was different. It was more like you gain faction points and you turn in tokens, but you could switch factions every faction rally, so it didn't really make sense, or it didn't really give you much incentive to stay within one faction besides the weapons, because the armors were also all static rolls. There weren't random rolls specific towards that faction. So damn, dude, that's actually pretty cool. Obviously, I'm not gonna go and play World of Warcraft because I'm too old.
Dude, well, let me just tell you, bro. I heard the expansion Shadowlands that just came out is insane. It's really good, and it's like kind of not back to how old World of Warcraft was, but like I heard it's really good. It's a good expansion. I might get back into it.
That's what Henry Cavill, right?
Oh
Superman?
yeah, dude.
He talks about
Superman plays. Wow.
Yeah, Superman talks about World of Warcraft all the time, and he fucks.
Yeah.
He does. But it just, man, I feel like, do you ever feel like you're too old sometimes for an MMORPG? Like, I play Destiny because it's easy for me to pick up and drop. Like, I can play Destiny, I forget about it for a week, or I'm too busy, and I'll come back and catch up. They put in a lot of they put in better catch-up mechanics in this last year. So if I even miss a whole year, the next big DLC, I can just catch up like that. I may miss out on weapons and mods, but I can earn them throughout my next lifespan of Destiny. I don't know. Do you guys ever feel like sometimes you're too old to play like a new game, or like if somebody was like, "Hey, I have a free guest pass for actually, I think Final Fantasy 14 is free up to level 20 or something," and somebody's like, "Hey, come play this with me," would you do it?
I mean, I have what is it? I can't remember who's the company that makes League of Legends.
Riot.
Yeah. So a buddy of mine works at Riot and like offered me a free trial of Valorant, and I was like, no, I've got too much on my plate. I'm playing like Destiny and all this shit and whatever, so I can't do it. Thanks though. But like, it kind of feels like that, like a little bit with like Red Dead Redemption 2. Like I'm someone that very much loves the story driven and campaign and this and that, but it's difficult for me to want to like go back and replay the storyline of Red Dead Redemption 2 and just like fuck around and have fun. Yeah. When I know there's literally those same elements in Red Dead Online. And it's like, well, if I'm going to fuck around and like hunt animals and get into shootouts, and then why won't I do it for this like online bank account that's going to like be the MMO thing versus like my own individual save playthrough where I'm on their narrative doing my thing. Yeah. That doesn't really extrapolate to any other social construct. I don't know.
I kind of did the same thing you did. Like I played half of Ghost of Tsushima, and then I watched my little brother play the rest of it because I contracted the coronavirus and I couldn't move. So after I watched him play it, I still kept playing it. So I got halfway through the storyline, but then I was just like, why would I invest that much time already? Because like I don't have enough time to play other games or my other projects. And Ghost of Tsushima Legends came out, which is their co-op mode, So I invested much
That's
more
pretty cool.
time into the co-op mode or the online portion than I did in the actual narrative. Even though I saw the narrative, the whole thing, which is badass, is the ultimate weeaboo dream to be a samurai. I don't want to spoil the ending either, but it's definitely
That's why, dude.
it's definitely a very Asian storyline, dude. I was like, oh, I love it. The Last of Us. Why would you do this? But anyways, but yeah, I was more invested into the online portion than I was into the single player one. You know, like I know the World of Warcraft also has its own lore and its own like campaign, right? But it's also more of a co-op game.
So every expansion is like a part of the story, you know, and so every time it's an expansion, you get the next part of like the main storyline, and you basically complete the main storyline while leveling up, you know. And so yeah, there's a big lore, and there's a big. They even made a movie about it, like a legit like movie, like they went into theaters and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't watch it.
Oh, I watched it. That shit was dope.
Was it good?
I liked it, dude. I don't know. People said it was bad, but I liked it. I like cheesy ass movies.
I kind of wanted to watch it because I had the Asian guy from Into the Badlands in it. I was like, oh, I don't know. I heard bad things about it. What was his name?
I'm a Warcraft fan, so
it was an interesting movie. I mean,
cool?
I'm not a Warcraft person by any means, really, but like, yeah, and that's what I realized as you were talking. Like, so my friends who kind of basically DM our like Dungeons and Dragons campaign really based it off of their World of Warcraft stuff. So all of like the characters we use and locations and this and that is all based off WoW. But like,
oh, that's pretty cool.
It's still a Dungeons and Dragons campaign where we all sit around and play. Yeah. So we haven't done that in, you know, since COVID or whatever. But I think that's a good, exercise in seeing how that extrapolates is, you know, I've got the analog version of WoW, which is like literally sitting around with my friends, and it's fun and everything, and I enjoy doing it. But there's literally like a time where it's like, oh, we've been here for 4 hours, guys. Maybe we'd like call it, and we all go home and like separate. But with, you know, online games and MMOs specifically, it's almost kind of like that same allegory for like playing poker with your friends versus like online poker. And it's like, yeah, you know, there's these people that can make, you know, so much money playing poker, just hands of poker with people, this and that and this and that. But just mathematically, you will spend so much more like time playing hands if you've got like 4 different online poker things going on. And so you're just get so much further into poker and so much further into the game and so much more into that like back and forth and that competitive spirit on the internet playing against strangers than you can ever get with the like just you sitting around with some of your best friends in the world.
Very true.
But there's like a different incentive though, right? Like that's more of a money incentive.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, just if you're like, even if you're just playing with friends, you know, playing poker with friends, it's still, you know, oh, if I'm going to play hands of poker, I can go online and play a million hands of poker in the time it takes us to deal the cards like 20 times.
Yeah.
So it's just like same with you know, RPGs versus MMORPGs. You know, as much as I love my friends and want to hang out with them in person, it's just like it's so much easier when we all are on the same page with Destiny and we're all like, yep, this is what's happening right now. We can all just jump into this raid and this is what's going on and et cetera, et cetera.
Would you?
You know what I don't like about Destiny? Hold on, sorry. A big gripe I have is that why can't you make the groups more than 4? Is it 4, right? Is that the max?
3.
Oh, even worse, bro. That's it.
Well,
that's all I have to say.
Now PvP is up to 6v6. But in like world events, it's only 3, man, and it sucks.
That's the worst, bro. Come on, I don't understand that. It should be 5.
It's supposed to build off the idea of like having a warlock, hunter, and titan, one of each three class. I mean, you can do activities like Gambit, which is 4. Sometimes PvP will have 4, but raids are 6. Raids are the only thing that does 6. Now, I mean, so would you guys play World of Warcraft? Okay, actually, it's more Emilio, but would you play World of Warcraft if it was just a narrative and not a multiplayer game?
No. I think I would have. I mean, what do you mean? Like if it was just like a standalone offline game?
Just standalone offline, yeah.
Oh no, I would
You would?
for sure. I would. Yeah, I like the story a lot. No, I'm sorry. I thought you meant like thought you meant something else. Yeah, if it's just like a standalone offline game, like I don't know, Red Dead Redemption, like how that story is offline, you know, I would totally play the World of Warcraft version. That shit would be so sick.
And I know you, Justice, you like single player narrative games too, right?
Yeah, definitely. I love, open sandbox games where you can just kind of go do whatever you want. And that's why I'm like so stoked for Cyberpunk, because I know, and I think I'm not taking any criticism seriously or any like stuff like that. I'll get it to it when I get to it. But I was just so into The Witcher 3. I've had nothing but faith in what they'll be able to turn out with this kind of game. And so far, everything I've seen has just been like, yeah, guys, that's just how Project Red goes. Like, everyone's like, yeah, no, it seems like the side missions are more in depth than like the main story. I'm like, yeah, that was The Witcher, guys. Like, all the side missions are fucking badass, and the main storyline's kind of just its own thing. But like, what's the like? That sounds like it'll be fucking a lot of fun.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't want to say, I don't know how to say this without sounding like a non-gamer, but I do like multiplayer games more than I do single player games. It's if I had an option to play a game, it would always be a multiplayer games. I just like the feeling of playing with somebody. I don't know, it's like sometimes when I was a kid, I would play a lot of RPGs, and I just hate the feeling of just like being by yourself for 8 hours grinding away. And I find that grinding is more fun when you're grinding with somebody else too.
Did you ever make any online friends?
Through RPGs?
Yep. Because I have some friends that I made online that I literally still talk to this day, and I've like been friends with them since like my early Warcraft days.
Well, RPGs were offline games.
Oh, I'm talking about like you're talking about the offline games?
Yeah, just like offline games. Like it's hard to just play like an offline game. Obviously now, like in today's age, is different because there's all these forums and Discord, and you have like Steam. You can go on Steam and see which one of your friends are playing this RPG at the same time. Which my entire friends list is Cyberpunk. So you have a community you can build off to play with, But before, back then, it was like there was no community unless you were in forums, and back then, to get into a forum you actually had to be invited. And it was kind of hard. But now it's like a click of a button.
I don't know, bro. I just think I don't have time for all these games. Like you were saying earlier, about like being 30 and like.
Oh yeah, that's what I was leading to.
Game.
It's just it's like if it's not a multiplayer game, I feel like at this age it's hard for me to get into it because I don't have a lot of time anymore. I have to in order for me to play like a certain game, I have to cut certain things out of my life. But if I were to play a game like Destiny or Halo, I'm able to combine two aspects of my life together, gaming and community,
Oh, there you go. Yeah. For me, dude, I think we talked about this yesterday. Like, there's just too many games out. Yeah. Like, there's just like too many games I want to play. Like, I'm playing Cyberpunk right now. I'm playing Counter-Strike. I'm playing Valorant. I'm also playing, hold on. Oh, I'm playing Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, because that's what like all my friends are playing is Warzone. So it's like that's like 4 or 5 games right there, dude. That I all want to play, and so like I don't know. There's for me, like I don't think it's like getting older. I think it's just like there's just too many games that like I wanna dabble in, and I just like you said, I don't have time. Like I get home from work, I'm tired. I still want a game, but like I also can't like overdo it, So.
Justin, you must be playing a lot of games too because of the Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah.
That shit's sick.
That shit's hella sick. Xbox, Microsoft, good shit.
No, they've added new content to it too, and it's paid for itself for me, honestly. Like there's a couple times where I'm like, yeah, I don't even need to go buy. Like it feels like the price I'd be spending on new video games throughout the course of the year. It's just delivered to me. Like I was like, oh, Outer Worlds, I fucking New Vegas. Oh, it's already on Game Pass. Don't need to buy it. Just download it. And then like they just added Fallen Order, played through that. Don't need to buy it. They just kind of one of the Assassin's Creeds, threw it on there, played through that. Just and keep giving me games that I can like kind of want to play and like don't want to buy. And it keeps working out. Dude,
yeah, it's literally a game changer. What Xbox did with the Game Pass, man. They said that most of their games will be on Game Pass. There will be a few games where you have to purchase, but most of them would be in the Game Pass. I think I pay $14 a month for the PC games, Xbox games, and the online membership.
And Beyond Light's on Game Pass too, right?
Is it? No.
I thought it was.
No.
I thought I've been playing Beyond Light on like my Xbox just because I like.
Really?
I didn't buy it. I didn't buy the expansion. I just thought I just like downloaded it, and then I've just been like, I've been doing Beyond Light missions.
I know that they give you all the other DLCs. I didn't know they gave you Beyond Light too.
Well, I was annoyed by like that because I had just bought all the other DLCs, and I was like, oh, if I'd waited 2 months, it would have been on Game Pass. But then I thought like I got like an expansion for Beyond Light through Game Pass as well.
Did I know that?
Double check. I'm still not 100% sure myself.
Don't quote us on this.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, there's just so many games. Like one of my games that I wish I played more was Remnant: Rise from the Ashes. It was a great game. It was a third-person shooter. It was made by the guys who did. It's made by Gunfire Games. I forgot what other game they made. Darkstroke, something 3, Darkstriders 3. Yeah, that's what they made. I think they made Darkstriders 3. No, I could be definitely wrong. But I wish I played that game more. And the reason why I didn't play that game was because not a lot of my friends played it. So I struggled to find people to play that game with. And it's sad because they didn't play that game. It was a great game, great developers. And I had to play other games where I had more of my friends playing it. So I didn't feel alone playing games. And there's just too many fucking games out there, man.
Too many games, dude. Too easily accessible too.
I mean, I'm feeling kind of the opposite. I like my single player campaigns as much as it's kind of fun to hop online and get into it with other people, but I'm just kind of tired of like having this experience and where there's toxicity or the threat of toxicity, even if there's no actual toxicity at all. I'm just kind of like, you know what? I would much rather just fuck around and like ride this horse through the wilderness and do these side missions and go at my own pace instead of like going into some sort of waiting area where this chump has got the newest, best armor because he ground out his, 30 hours to get it because he's a, 15-year-old that is, remote learning right now and has nothing but time to just crunch away and grind the stuff out. And so it's kind of like...
You hate the sweaty players.
Yeah, the sweaty players kind of just make it like... not less fun, but I'm just like, I don't even want to go online for like Cyberpunk spoilers and stuff just because I'll see all the people that are like, oh yeah, I've already done this and that and I've got, this cool thing that does this or that. And I'm like, I don't want to really like compare myself to you guys who have been like grinding this out. I just want to go at my own pace and like have my own experience for my own fun.
Why go online to get spoilers from Cyberpunk when you have two of us right here? We tell you what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah, now I got to fight it off from all angles.
Zero spoiler show.
So would you say that the sweats, or I don't know, if you would include streamers in this, but would you say the sweats ruin PvP games for you? Or multiplayer games?
No, because the sweats are the reason those games exist. It's just that I'm not built for those games versus like just how it goes. I mean, especially when like people start smack talking me, I shut down, I get angrier, I try to play harder. I don't like talk shit. Like I try to show it on the court. I don't like to get in people's faces. So that's just also kind of ruins the fun for me when everybody else is like, yeah, hey, I'm going to teabag you even though the team did the whole work killing you. Like, hey, no, I know that you're garbage and your team's carrying you, but you've got an ego and that's just going to annoy me.
Oh, man. Oh, you, Emilio, what do you think of the sweaty community?
Depends on the game,
so the sweats,
dude.
So explain, sweats are like the most...
Oh, sweaties or
1%.
Tryhards?
The tryhards. They're like the 1% of that gaming community. They call it sweats because they're all sweating, trying to get things done.
So I think that where I learned the term sweaty, whatever player, was in Fortnite. Because Fortnite really had literally it felt like that in a month, everyone just got 1,000 times better because of the building mechanic, and that if once you master that, the game's like a totally different game. It's not even a shooting game. It's basically just like a build off, but I don't know how, it depends on the game. like with sweaties. Like if I'm bad at a game and there's sweaties, I'm like, fuck, this is the worst. But if I'm like decent or good at the game and there's sweaties, I almost like feel like it's like a challenge, you know, or like a damn, I really got to like be better than this person. So I don't know. It's like a love-hate thing. You definitely hate losing to like the cracked fucking 13, 14-year-old kid who's just like out aiming you or like outsmarting you or whatever. But at the same time, like if you are good, I don't know, it's like a good measure. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Like for me, I used to get super tilted when I would get teabagged by a. I used to get
Dude, that happens all the time in the tactical shooters, bro. Just get bagged on all the time. All the time. You get bagged on. I can't take it. Time.
Yeah.
I get so tilted.
After college, I should no longer be getting teabagged. All right. Those days are over. But it's just like, dude, it fucking sucks because I would get teabagged whenever I get teabagged by shitty players, I'm like, whatever. I got more kills than you, a better ratio. You just suck. You're just a sore loser. When I used to get so tilted though when I get teabagged by a trials winner. A trials winner is like the top notch of whatever PvP mode we're in that mode is trial. Like getting teabagged by those guys was worse because like not only were you not able to fucking make a dent in their armor, but they're also bagging you. They're literally putting it in your face. Give you the Arabian goggles, and it was just like
I'm the opposite. I'm like if a worse player like shows me some BM, gives me some bad manners, I like make it a goal to like hunt them down at the expense of my own opportunity at winning. So like I'm like, oh, I can make this right. I can like get this guy because he's worse than me. But if it's like a better person that like, you know, shows me some bad manners, like I'm like, yeah, you know, you play this game too much anyways, dude. I'm just a casual. You should take it less seriously, bro.
Oh, the question of casual versus sweat. But yeah.
Depends on the game, dude. Yeah. Depends on the game.
Depends on the other player too. If he's really good, I'm just casual. But if they're terrible, it's because I'm, the best.
It depends how addicted you are to the game. And, obviously there was a point in my life when I was pretty addicted to Destiny where it was borderline infringing in my life. But that's when teabagging used to really get to me, where it's like I devoted fucking 10 hours a day. Okay, 10 hours a day is a lot. 8 hours a day. I used to stay fucking late for Destiny to do these raids. But like when I devote a lot of time to Destiny and I think I was good, I go into a trials match and I would just get fucking slayed and bagged. I'm like, fuck this. This is bullshit. Not good for
me. Trials is probably the sweatiest thing I've played in a long time. Like that is for sure, without a doubt. Like I felt inferior. Like you're saying, you're saying you grinded for the gear. I grinded for I forgot one handgun, Thorn. I think I had Thorn or something.
Thorn, yeah.
And then I had I played a hunter, and so like I thought like I was like pretty good at like a DPS character and shit. Dude, I just got humbled so hard in that game. Like that was the one time where I just felt like I was completely outmatched.
It definitely knocks you off your high horse.
Dude, I fell hard, bro. I didn't play again.
Really?
I literally stopped playing. Yeah, I stopped playing, dude. Because that's when Valorant came out too, and then I was like, all right, this is the game that I want to play.
I really get the Valorant bags than the Destiny bags, eh?
Dude, I give the bags out in Valorant, bro.
Yeah, it took me a while to get over that, to just realize that it's not good letting something as minuscule as getting bagged in a fucking video game get to your life, But
it affect your person, dude.
It used to fuck my whole day up, dude. I would go to sleep angry, thinking about those bags, waking up angry, and just be like, that motherfucker, dude. If I ever see him again in the Crucible, I'm taking him down, dude. I'm switching my gear. I'm put on the sweatiest things I can. But
that's funny, dude.
That's when obsession kind of kicked in, and I was like, oh, maybe I should take a step back because it's just a fucking game.
Dude, that's just it's a gaming like a culture thing.
Yeah, I didn't even know that teabagging was in like Street Fighter or in fighting games. You guys seen?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing. I thought it was like if you just crouch down hella fast, that's considered teabagging.
Well, yeah, any game you can crouch, I'm sure. the people have figured out how to.
You're bagging people, dude.
Yeah, I always thought bagging.
Initially in shooting games, they didn't make it that you actually teabag the characters. You would like your character model just kind of like made themselves taller and shorter.
You have to insert a video in this where you show what teabagging is in game because people might think it's something else.
I'll go on Pornhub.
Master Chief teabagging.
That's a different video. Yeah, man. But dude, getting bagged, dude, was not fun.
Tilting, bro.
It is tilting. It is, and it's not good for your mental health either. It's just, I don't bag. I know I have a lot of friends who do bag, but it's just not me. Now, whenever I get bagged, I'm just like, whatever. It's just a game. I don't let it get to me anymore.
I only do it if people are talking shit.
Mm-hmm. Wait,
if people are talking shit.
Can you hear people talking shit in Valorant?
No, just like in game, typing.
Oh yeah, that's in the Destiny PC one too. You can type in-game chat. It's not a console thing. So
it's always the in-game chat where like I don't know, like say someone like has a crazy round against you, just call you trash or whatever, and then you next round you just like destroy him. That's an opportunity to bag someone for sure.
I guess you're right. I don't talk trash either. I just play the game.
I only talk trash if someone talks trash to me back first. Because then if you start talking trash first, then like you're just the toxic person,
Yeah, I just retaliate. I don't like if someone like does some kind of like move that's just like cheesy as shit, or it's like broken or something, and it's just like them, manipulating the rules of the game. I'm just like, you're a cheap piece of shit, but that is what it is. I can't hold it against you. But if they like kind of fuck with me a little bit, then I'm like, all right, fair game. I'm going to try to make you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah. I think on PlayStation, dude, it's just too hard to send a message out, though. On PC,
okay. All right.
On PC,
talk about mouse and keyboard versus controller. Is that the next conversation?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go. Let's enter this conversation. Like, what? Obviously,
all right. This is a hot take, dude. I feel like I'm actually playing a video game because you're having the computer aim for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just kidding.
Bro, you want me to download Valorant right now and then I'll play against with a controller?
You can't play it on controller input.
You can't play it on controller? I thought there's like a controller input.
No, there's not a controller input.
What?
But dude, controller games. There's some games that I can't play on PC that are only controller. Like the PlayStation exclusives, can't play those on PC.
I thought that they eventually make their way onto PC.
I don't know when. I want to play Spider-Man. I want to play Ghosts. I want to play like all that stuff, Because Horizon Zero Dawn, that was a PS exclusive, right? Yeah.
And then it's on PC now.
They're all gonna get on there.
Yeah, you're right. Like Resident Evil Remake, that was a PS exclusive, and then it made its way to PC.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it eventually.
Yeah, but let's talk about controllers, dude.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I can't. I don't know. I'm not a competitive player. Like, I don't have a lot of stake in this, and I mainly play on controller. But I just use controller. It's just easier for me. Whenever I play a computer game, I plug in a controller
give you a hard time.
Into my PC, and I get that nice ass aim assist.
What about you, Justice? Are you mouse and keyboard? You play Overwatch, right?
I'm a control guy.
Is Overwatch? Overwatch is on PlayStation, huh?
Yeah, I got it for Xbox. I also have it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, two controller players.
I couldn't get into it.
On mouse and keyboard?
Yeah, it's tough. I've got a decent machine, but yeah, it's just I think I need to play a game that will like get me into it because I've only been playing Overwatch in that regard. But
it's
like
a big learning curve on mouse.
Yeah, and I'm good with a controller.
Yeah,
and so like I've got the gaming sense and the intuition, but like it's once you get to that point where I'm like, oh no, it's just too broken. I am not good enough to like feel good while I'm playing on the computer. So I just like
Well, it's just a different movement.
The movement's different. The movement is completely different.
You go from doing this to fucking like this, you know,
Yeah.
and it's fucking different. I don't know how else to explain it.
It's fucking different.
I will say
Is
that in a competitive game, mouse and keyboard would always will have a better chance of beating a controller player.
See, I don't think that in competition you should be mixing controller players and mouse and keyboard players. I think you should be separating them. Personally, this is my personal opinion, just because I think that in certain games the aim assist is so strong, like so strong that like it's almost an unfair advantage, you know. So I'm always on the side where I think you should always separate them, personally.
Wait, so
in competition.
So if there was a COD competition, can you use a controller?
In a COD competition?
Yeah.
So I think in battle royales, I think they are mixed. I'm pretty sure. But I haven't heard a lot of complaints from the Call of Duty community. I've definitely heard complaints from the Fortnite community, because they're like, their aim assist is insane. It's insane. You laser people. It's like you don't even need to. It's crazy. You lock on the heads right away. And in the tactical shooters, there's no controller players. It's just all PC, mouse and keyboard players.
I know that.
I'm not sure how it is in Overwatch though. I don't know if Overwatch mixes the players.
It doesn't. It doesn't mix the players, and
Yeah.
there would be a huge advantage to mouse and board versus controller.
Yeah.
Just saying. But like, it's interesting what you're telling me about Fortnite, because I mean, also they're just across just every platform, right? So they're probably auto aim has to be as general as possible, just to kind of account for mobile and PC and console and whatever. But it's interesting that. No, that's interesting. Wow.
Bro, there was this Destiny player that got called out for cheating, but technically he wasn't cheating until they changed the rules. He had a how the hell did he do it? He had a
He probably had a mouse keyboard with the aim assist input.
Yeah, you know what he did was it was on PS4, so he had a one of those switches or devices where he was able to plug in his mouse. He was like, he was aiming with the mouse, but because it still registered a controller, he got aim assist on the mouse.
Yeah.
So he was hitting these crazy ass snipes, man.
Dude, and that's why I think that controller players and PC players shouldn't be playing for money or anything like that in the same lobbies. Personally, I think you should always separate. If it's like for money or something that's like high stakes, if it's like an online tournament for whatever, that's fine. But I don't know. That's how I feel about it. You just avoid a lot of drama.
But I mean, I've seen some people do some crazy stuff with like mouse and keyboard though. Like Cammy Cakes on Destiny, he like does these 360 snipes, man.
Dude, once you kind of get the mechanics and like the like sense of moving, the aiming is in my opinion, it's like a little more fluid. You know, like I don't know.
It's more crisp.
I like the movement more. I like the movement more in a mouse and keyboard for sure.
Yeah, it's faster. It's more crisp. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Like with controller, you gotta make your character look one. I think you can only do 2 actions at once on the controller. You know, like you are gonna look left, or you're gonna look up, right, or down because it's joysticks. But with mouse, just is not your movement is not really linear. You can just move your mouse in a fucking circle and you will aim that way.
Yeah.
It's just a bigger input. Like it's your thumb basically controlling one axis versus like your whole wrist being able to control that axis. You just have like a finer point of control with a mouse versus like a control stick. So like it's just a finer kind of point you can put on things.
So mouse and keyboard, I think definitely keyboard will win. But I don't know, man. Is there any advice you can give to people who want to learn how to use mouse and keyboard?
I guess don't do like competitive things like Overwatch that will make you feel bad. Play like Fallout New Vegas or something, which is slow and methodical, and you can like understand how to move better with WASD.
There's definitely that. Or I mean, if you go into any like Counter-Strike game or any of those games, you go to do the casual mode. The casual mode's pretty forgiving. where like you get armor, you get like guns already, and then you kind of learn the mechanics there. There's deathmatch modes, which seem a little overwhelming at first, but there's nothing really at stake. It's just there for you to practice. And there's also aim trainers too, like on Steam or whatever, where it's called Aim Lab, and you just basically practice like hand-eye coordination, being able to like track something on the screen. And I think those are the best ways for people to get better mouse and keyboard. But it is for sure going to be frustrating. But in the long run, I feel like it's personally for me, I think it's a better way to play aiming games. For me, not necessarily for everyone, you know.
Do you guys think that
if you're cracked at keep a controller, stay controller. Don't switch if you're already really fucking good, I think.
Yeah, the point is have fun. Don't start fucking yourself over because of some expectations about strangers on the internet giving you something or other.
Of course.
That's what we are fighting against, guys.
Yeah.
The gaming community, opinions of weird strangers out there do not matter. That's what we were trying to drive home. Have fun.
Yeah. And that guy who teabagged you, it probably hurts him more than it hurts you. He's probably bagging from a place of hate. Be the change.
Be the bigger gamer.
Yeah.
Be the bigger gamer.
Have the bigger balls.
Yeah, it's always about having fun though. Like it's always about that, laughing, having fun, winning with your friends. Like that shit's always fun.
Yeah.
Can't forget that.
Losing with your friends, better than losing alone. I'll say that too.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, failing at a raid with your friends sometimes sucks depending on your friends, but it can also be good laughs. Damn, I can't imagine fucking. Have you guys ever tried doing a solo camp, like playing Destiny or any kind of multiplayer games, soloing something and just being like fuck it after an hour?
Yes,
that happened to me in boss or dungeon or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to go through some of the new Destiny 2 stuff, and there's just a story mission where I wasn't a high enough light level, and I was like, fuck this, I will do this at a later time. Maybe a friend will be online and they can help me out or something, but I don't feel like continually getting my ass kicked.
How much time do you guys always allocate to put into a video game?
I mean, depends. I really love these long ones and things like Cyberpunk, which are just going to be, just from what I love about The Witcher 3, is that it's just like such incredible world building and such depth and scope for the environment that they've created, that I know that same kind of quality is going to be in Cyberpunk, and you're just going to be finding endless things to do and choices that are not even quite good or bad, but just interesting kind of thought exercises that you pursue. So I'm happy to just dump more and more time into that. But something like Fallen Order, I played it and beat it, and then I was like, oh, I'll try New Game Plus. And I'm like, oh, I don't really get anything interesting out of this New Game Plus. I'm not really going to play through again. Am I? I don't know. I'm trying Control right now as well. That's on interesting video for, but it is not a good game. It is just like a cool idea that has barely been executed. And I'm just listening to a podcast while I'm playing it. I'm not invested in all. I'm just interested in the mechanics of having these psychic powers, but everything else about it is really flat and feels like the first Resident Evil 2, like the original Resident Evil 2.
Is that the game with the girl with the redhead girl?
Yeah, it's just like.
She's like the redhead girl with powers, right?
Yeah, all her powers are cool, but everything else about the game is feels like game design 101. Like some guy took a class and was like, oh, because there's no way to read the map. There's no guide or actual emotion or this or that going on. They put a lot of effort into having these cool powers and the combat, but everything still feels like just kind of linear stuff. All the enemies just feel get from level 2 to level 3. It's not a new interesting kind of enemy really shows up. I don't know. It's not very good. I'm kind of bummed. At least I will say this: it's giving me the force powers I wanted from Fallen Order. So that's why I'm interested. It makes me feel a little bit more like a Jedi, but it's kind of unfortunate. They need to meld those two games together.
So
wait, hold on. Oh no. Yo, did you play Star Wars. Oh, Fallen Order. That's the one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I played that one too.
Yeah.
That was really fun.
It's interesting. I don't know. I've just got like a lot of connection to Dark Souls games, and people were like telling me it was like very much like a FromSoft game. And then as I was playing it, I'm like, oh,
too easy.
fuck. It's exactly like a FromSoft game. Like
Play
what level?
Sekiro?
Huh? I haven't played Sekiro. I'm still like, I bought the deluxe edition for Dark Souls 3 and never finished it. And I'm like, that's like a weird kind of like pride pain in my side, is that I'm like, and then every time I try to get back into it, I get my ass kicked, and I'm like, "Fuck this! Why am I playing Dark Souls?"
Same with Sekiro. I bought it $60, and I played like a decent amount, and I just couldn't get past this one boss, and that was it. And I haven't opened it since.
Then you lose the touch for it, and then you're like, why try to spend the time to get maybe good enough to get through this one boss?
But I always see it in my library, and I'm always like, fuck, should I just install it again and try again?
It's like taunting you. You're like, you bitch.
Dude, he's right. It's like a pride thing, dude. Like, fuck, I failed.
Like, if it was like a Game Pass thing, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't have paid money for it. I didn't care. But like this one, I did actually buy like the full deluxe edition.
Yeah.
So does like how good you are at a video game determine how long you play the game?
That's a good question.
I mean, maybe. That's probably why I'm still playing Overwatch, is because I'm like decent enough at it. I like, to me, it's almost maybe more of a world building thing, like a vibe kind of thing. Like that's what I played the shit out of The Witcher 3. That's what I'm so excited for Cyberpunk for, is like being in that world. Like I want to be a god in that game. I don't care about if I'm like, too good to do whatever I want. Like I kind of want to get to that. That's kind of the point I love, and specifically story-driven games, and something that you can't really get too much in MMOs. Is like, oh no, I've maxed out my character. I've gotten everything interesting. I'm the most powerful I'm going to be. I'm going to fuck around with my stats, and I'm going to destroy any NPC that comes across my path. It's going to be great. So that kind of has a big effect on me, and that's kind of why I'm a little bummed out about like Fallen Order not having that depth to like New Game Plus that I was kind of hoping for.
So you want to like a secure mode in Fallen Order?
I just kind of like, I keep comparing it to Dark Souls, and the great thing about Dark Souls was it gave you these really complex challenges, and it gave you all the tools to figure out how to get around them and beat them. And with Fallen Order, there's really only one path through any given situation. And it's just get better at parrying, or get better at dodging, or this or that. Whereas what I loved about Dark Souls was like, oh, if I'm, fighting this kind of character and he's got like plate mail, maybe I should use a spear because that's got piercing damage versus bludgeoning damage, or whatever. And Dark Souls just built this world around like, oh, you kind of figuring out things to pull yourself together to kind of get through these fights and these weird bottlenecks. And if you were cheesing a boss battle in that game or something like that, you felt like justified. You were like, I don't fucking give a shit. This game's being a dick to me for the last 20 hours. If I can find like a little shortcut that lets me win, I do not care. And I just felt like that weight wasn't there in the Fallen Order game. It just kind of only gives you a lightsaber, which, as much as I love and it kind of plays around with some of it, there's just no depth. You're kind of stuck doing this thing and having to get better at this way you want to do it, as opposed to like the Dark Souls thing, which is like, oh, maybe you even fucking find a weird shortcut around this guy and you can just go do something else until you level up to come back and fight them. I don't know. It just it kind of missing the depth of Dark Souls that kind of game needed, and like, kind of bummed me out.
Like almost like it's too linear.
Yeah, I mean, you can change it up a bit, but it is very much kind of like you can go to different planets, but there are certain like blockades, at least ability blockades, for you to get to certain areas. But yeah, it's just like, it kind of is all about like getting you better at using the lightsaber and using your force powers, versus like Dark Souls, which was like, oh wow, I just figured out that there's a whole magical component to this game and I can start using magic, or I can start doing this or that, or this particular character is weak to this kind of item, so maybe having these kinds of items will help me fight through this area more, or something like that. It was like, I think I compared it to like Jedi Fallen Order is a game that like rewards you for understanding the mechanics of the game, but Dark Souls is a game that rewards you for understanding the game. So if you like understood how the game works and the rules within the game, it's almost like a more tangible, palpable world for you to inhibit versus like Fallen Order, where it's like, oh, if I just know how to parry at these times and jump at these times, I can get through. It doesn't really have that same kind of connective tissue that, you know, I feel like a lot of the FromSoft games have.
So you want to be like Neo and not Morpheus?
Precisely. I want to get to the point where I am Neo. I want to start flying around the game and being like, I'm the one. I get to do what I want here. This is all my story. I don't want to be that guy that's like, oh yeah, look over there. There's Neo. There's the guy that spent 50 extra hours on this game that I'm just kind of chilling out here. Like, what am I doing if I'm Morpheus? Morpheus doesn't do anything in the third movie. He just sits in a chair.
Bitch, I'm Neo.
Yeah, I want to be the one. I get to do the punching.
Damn. So yeah, I guess I know your answer because I always ask the questions like what makes a game good? You know, is it the difficulty? Is it the amount of options it gives you? Or...
To me, it's the immersion. To me, it's like what gets you to connect to it and like have a good time. And it's not always, it's difficult because so many video games are kind of about violence and are built these certain ways, kind of not unlike summer blockbusters. They all got this kind of same flavor a lot to kind of sell the same narrative arc and these same principles and ideas. You know, I just kind of think about like a game like Journey. It's a game I've never personally played, but just for that as a interactive experience for people to go through, I think is very interesting. And, you know, I know Ghost of Tsushima or Tsushima, whatever. And like, you know, Last of Us, they're games that have a lot of violence and gore and bloodshed. So I don't always want to draw attention to just those aspects of it, of being very realistic and having great mechanics and having these deep emotional elements interplay. I want to draw attention to games, you know, like Abzu or Journey or, you know, these games that can just be little experiences for you to just kind of explore this little world that somebody built. That's just like a little piece of art for you to kind of experience in a 3D setting and a 2D setting and just kind of understand like, oh man, you know, this is somebody built this and I'm playing around. It's Minecraft. I'm building shit in Minecraft. You know, it doesn't need to be this weird experience. It doesn't need to be aggro. It doesn't need to be toxicity. It doesn't even need to be competition. It can just be a space for you to kind of play as Neo and be this like centerpiece figure in this digital space where you can kind of just have a power fantasy, have a dream fantasy, just kind of have a sandbox and build a sandcastle.
I was going to say something I totally fucking forgot.
Okay, we talked like what makes a game good.
Yeah, we were just talking about what makes a game good.
I think what makes a game good, well, depends on like the kind of games you like the story driven games. Definitely the story for me makes it like very appealing. Game mechanics, like artwork and stuff like that. But the games that I mostly play, like the shooters and stuff, like the satisfaction of like winning the game, and then like the I think for me the biggest thing is mechanics in games. Like I like cool mechanics. I like playability. I don't know, like that to me makes good games. And I also like developers who like you know are invested in the game. You know, who you know that are gonna like if you pay this price, they're gonna, you know, reward you with like better content or like, you know, updates, like, you know, meta changes, like nerfs, buffs, kind of stuff like that. Like I kind of take that in consideration when I'm thinking about like a good game, because like you can bust out a game like as a developer and it could be good and then that's it, you know, or you can keep building on it. And I'd really like enjoy those kind of games. Like Destiny is a good example of like, I think Activision, right? Or
No,
Bungie. Yeah. So they had they had like a weird falling out with like Microsoft or whatever. And then like, it was kind of like Activision, sorry. And then like, I feel like people thought it was kind of dead in the water. Now it's kind of coming back with like better content, you know, or like newer content. And so that's like refreshing. World of Warcraft's another one. And then like Counter-Strike isn't like that, because like Valve as a developer isn't really like that invested, you know. But I don't know. I like games where like I know there's people behind those games who like are also passionate and are also going to give you new content and stuff like that. I like that kind of stuff.
So balance and replayability.
Yeah, I like balance, and I like
competition.
I also like I like competition, and I like when people throw like a meta change, like a change in the game that like shakes it up and makes you think about the game differently. Like I really enjoy those kind of things where like people might think it's like a nerf, and then people find different ways to use different characters in the game that people didn't think of before. I'm sure, and I mean, Justice plays Overwatch. Like there's been like a bunch of meta changes. It just means you have to adapt. And like I think that kind of stuff in gaming is like what keeps like games alive and what keeps people kind of coming back, or if done wrong, like gets people away from the game.
Destiny 2 year one. Yeah, I guess for me it's like it's kind of like when it comes to like MMORPGs, for me what makes a good game is how is the journey and who I take along with the journey. I like to do raids, and raids, even though we can spend 6 hours on a raid and not getting done, sometimes it's a journey, that's fun. And obviously a balanced journey, not a broken one. And I guess too, when you're talking about just like a narrative game, what makes a good one for me is how good the storyline is, and does it make sense, which is why like I love Ghost of Tsushima, and just like that story just made sense to me, or it didn't feel like I hated the characters. Like there's some games where I try to play and I just can't get into because I hate the freaking characters, and yeah, to me that's what makes a game that I want to play or just put it off.
Yeah, I don't want to keep harping on Star Wars Fallen Order or anything like that. It's just like I kind of keep comparing it to like The Force Unleashed. If you guys ever played that game, they're kind of two sides of the same coin. And things for like Fallen Order that has going for it is like the sound design on that game is fucking incredible. Like I feel like I'm in Star Wars, and I'm a huge Star Wars nerd, and just like hearing the sounds of that game make me feel like I'm in the Star Wars universe. And they do a lot of good things really well in that game. But also I feel like maybe that's just because I know there's this, weight in the air, the shadow of EA looming across the landscape of video games and whatnot. But I just feel like so much of it is padded out. And like there's just kind of extra padding in there that makes it less fun for the player and perhaps more profitable for the company. And I think what Emilio was saying about like, the people creating, even if it's not so much creating the game so that it will have more content later on or stand the test of time, but there's times you can feel when like the developers cared and they made a game that they just like, I think that's like the issue we're talking about like with Cyberpunk a little bit too. It's like they almost had too many ideas to continue to shove into this game.
Yeah,
like they're trying to figure out how they can parse this out and continue to like build this thing that they are just like too excited about. And a lot of the times it's kind of a bummer when you just see this game that was kind of pushed out for one or two reasons or just enough to get a crash grab. And you like, it's kind of how I feel about Control is I'm like, there's so many cool ideas here. And I see you guys put in a lot of work here and there, but it's like, so much of this just feels so lazy and so incomplete and so done and hacked that it's like, it's tough to appreciate the things that you guys did well.
Yeah. What was the Star Wars game? Like Star Wars Battlefront 2?
The new one or the old one?
I don't know. The one that came out like 2 years ago.
Okay, so that's the new one.
Yeah. I know a lot of people hate it.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're getting near the end of here, so I want to ask one more question before we all take off. I see everybody like getting kind of tired. What is one game that resonated with you emotionally, and that kind of like altered the way you thought about gaming and the narrative storytelling?
That's a good one, dude.
I think that's a good question to end on.
Okay, the one that I could think of recently that I played and that I was like really invested and that I was like, holy fuck, like this is an amazing, beautiful game that like that I think if you ever want to get into gaming, it's really accessible and just like really in depth was Red Dead Redemption 2.
Mm-hmm.
Like I played that because my internet was like shit for like a month or whatever. So I bought that and then I was just playing that offline. And dude, I enjoyed it so much. Like I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed like the mechanics of the game, like the effort in the detail, like just everything, dude. I was really invested in the character. Like I would come home from work and I'd be like, fuck, I need to know what happens next. Like I was so invested, dude. And then like I felt for him, dude.
Yeah.
Like you want him to win like the whole time. And I'm not gonna ruin it for everyone, but like, you know, you want him to persevere because like you're kind of along with him on this long fucking journey, you know. It's sick. And that's the one game I think recently that like kind of changed the way that I thought about like stories in games, and like I thought about like how technical games can get and be, because some of the detail in that game, in those games, in that game specifically, is insane. And like the amount of stuff that they like add, you can hunt, you could fish, you could shoot, you can like fucking horse ride, you can like, I don't know, fucking camp, find exotic animals, like do all this crazy shit. So that was the one game where I was really, really impressed, and kind of definitely changed the way that I look at those kind of games more. And that's why I'm excited for Cyberpunk, because I hope I get that same kind of feeling in terms of like story and like, you know, the other kind of stuff from Cyberpunk. So that's what I gotta say about that.
Well, you can make your dick big like me.
I saw your Instagram
Dude,
post,
I mean, my dick hella big, dude.
That's so funny. That's so
Big
funny.
ass black line. I'll post the
so funny.
I'll put the picture in. How about you, Justice? What was one game that emotionally resonated with you or changed the way you thought about a game narrative?
I will. I'll try to answer this. I guess I'll do with like probably the most recent example for me would be The Witcher 3, which is I'm going to try to like tie all of my feelings into The Witcher 3 about like kind of try to tie them into Cyberpunk 2077.
That's your benchmark. That's your benchmark.
Kind of. So those are things.
Cyberpunk plug.
That's what. Yeah, I'm going to tie it all together, boys. It's all coming. It's all coming around. So a couple of years ago, I heard The Witcher 3 was great, and like everyone was talking about it, and I saw like my cousin playing it, and I saw it was on sale, like the deluxe edition for like $35. And I had been playing a ton of Dark Souls 3 and had been getting my ass fucking handed to me. And I was like, you know what? I just want to play this game where I can kill monsters at a very accessible level. I don't need to be the best. I don't need to get good. I could just like jump into this game that's good and kill monsters with a giant sword. That's what I love to do most in video games, is kill giant monsters with a sword. And so I hop into this thing. And first of all, I fucking hate it. Like, I am so angry at the mechanics of this game and how it works. I'm not a high enough level. I keep getting my ass kicked. 10 hours into the game, I'm like, I think I like post on Facebook, like, I wish I could burn this game. If it wasn't a digital copy, I would burn the disc. That's how angry and upset I was. And then like I started to get into it, and it was like shortly after I'd posted that, I got into this one mission where you can like release this tree spirit, and the tree spirit will go and rescue these orphans from these evil witches, but it's also so angry it will destroy this town. Or you can, you know, kill the tree spirit and save the town, but then the witches eat the orphans. And like, it was the weirdest fucking thing. Like, so many games, as much as I love Red Dead Redemption, as much as I love Skyrim, games like those very easily tilt to like good karma, bad karma. They have these systems where it's very clear, if you make this moral decision, you're good, and if you make this moral decision, you're bad. And, you know, it's a great mechanic, and I love it, and I love games that embrace it, but The Witcher was the first game I played that it was like, oh, both are bad options. Both are gray. There's no good morality here. There's no bad morality here. It's what you can live with, what you choose to do in this game. And so I played through that game, and I got more and more in love with it and really enjoyed it. And then I didn't realize like the final end of the main storyline kind of culminates from weird random choices you've made throughout the rest of the game. So instead of like something like BioShock, where it's very clear that if you kill the little sisters, you're going to be evil, and if you save the little sisters, you're going to be good. Like, the whole time I was just like trying to be, you know, a good parent to my like adopted daughter in the game, like trying to make responsible decisions. And then at the end of the game, she like dies and doesn't come back, and it's a pretty sad ending, and it's pretty morose, and it's just terrible. And I was like broken. I was like, I will be a terrible father. I am not like ready to like parent. This game has like ruined me. I should not ever have children. And so it's just a weird situation where like these choices I thought I was making that were like, I was actually a helicopter parent. My child had no self-esteem because I was like too overprotective in this weird fantasy world. And so then I like replayed it and did all that stuff again. But like, that was like a real emotional impact for me. I was like, oh shit. Like, this game isn't easy. These answers are not like obvious, simple, good, bad, right, wrong. It's like a complex world of moral issues, and that's exactly and that's how like all the side missions were in this game. You could kill a succubus who'd been like drinking a couple soldiers dry, but she was also like, yeah, they're old guys. Like I gave them the time of their life. What else are they gonna do? And you're like, oh shit, do I kill this like magical prostitute? She's kind of right. And I feel like that's why I'm so excited for Cyberpunk. Is like just what I played in The Witcher. Is it's a game where people like just huge nerds put everything they thought of into this miraculous game that tied it all together. It's a great experience. It's this fully realized world where morality is gray and there's kind of no right decisions. It's just how you navigate this, fucking incredible cityscape. And I know that like if they put that same kind of care from The Witcher that they put into like Cyberpunk, which is already a tabletop RPG, it's already there. All the narrative is there. All the pieces are there. They just needed to put it together. And these guys were just the guys to do it. And I have full confidence in their ability to kind of string together this crazy fucking mishmash of genres and humor and like biting cynicism, but also like endearing kind of grins and cheer. I don't know. That's kind of what I felt about The Witcher, was that it was like this, in a way that's not like Grand Theft Auto. As much as I love the Grand Theft Auto games, as much as I love the Rockstar games and the Red Dead Redemptions, there's that biting cynicism to it. There's that kind of satire and that parody, and they're really trying to hold this mirror up to society and be like, ha, we're like South Park, you guys are stupid. But like CD Projekt Red, there's that sincerity. There's that cynicism, and they know like, hey, yeah, they're Polish guys. They're from Poland. Polish people are like kind of this is pretty racist for everybody, but the Polish people are pretty much like kings of like, yeah, shit kind of sucks, but we're going to keep on chugging, and, things are going to pull through. We're good people. So that's kind of what I feel like with Cyberpunk, is there's going to be this kind of core of endearing, and like it's going to be legitimate and mean something, as opposed to like Grand Theft Auto 5, where the whole joke is like, yeah, this all means nothing. We're all kind of terrible people. I think Cyberpunk's really going to go the distance. It's going to be very nuanced, very deep, and I don't know how much you guys have played of other CG Project Red stuff, but I think you guys are going to trip out. Like you're going to get into situations where you guys don't even realize there's no black or white, right or wrong. It's just gray and gray. And you're going to feel kind of bad for making a moral decision that you weren't prepared to make.
Oh, yeah, where I made weird decisions that I literally thought about all day.
Yeah.
I was literally thinking today, like, swear to God, at work, I was like, holy shit, like, why did I do that?
Well, I guess if you get a daughter in Cyberpunk, just don't be an Asian father, and your daughter will be happy.
I mean, I didn't like.
I think that's the lesson learned, right?
No, that's the problem. It's with like The Witcher. It is kind of like, no, be an Asian father. Like if you kind of like push her to be,
Hey, I can say that you can't.
Did it right.
I get that card. I'm wearing the Pikachu shirt. But you're right. But for me, I don't know. I think the game that kind of like changed the way I thought about a narrative was probably Final Fantasy X. I think. The storyline is a lot linear than actually is a linear storyline compared to your guys' games, but like it's just like it just told a beautiful story, and that's all I really needed. And it was a fucking trip, dude. It was like they did a plot twist where I did not see coming. I don't know if you guys ever played Final Fantasy X or know the plot twist.
I haven't.
But there's actually a compilation where you just watch a bunch of YouTubers cry at like finding out the plot twist, and you're just like, what the fuck? And as a kid, I think when I played it, I was a sophomore or junior in high school, and I was like, what? I was like, damn, this is sadder than when Kate's fat ass didn't let Leo on that fucking door, man. But it changed my life, man. Not changed my life, but I saw that games were more than just a place where you can just play out some kind of avatar, and it can tell beautiful stories.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They are, dude. They're really great, well done stories that you become a part of.
Or you're gonna have like some weird character plot development loopholes that doesn't make sense, but still people like. Last of Us 2.
Oh, dude. Shots fired at the end, dude.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, thank you guys. Thank you for doing this. I know
Thank you, dude. That was awesome.
I know we just try to bang out 2 hours. I need to get something to eat, but it was a good time. I had a good time learning about games and why you guys like them. Hopefully, other people like our stories too, and also people are not depressed. I don't know. I feel like we just ran through a fucking bunch of different subjects in this one. It was like we started out super depressing. I will say that. I didn't expect how dark we were going to start out, but
Dude, that might have been my bad, dude.
we started out super dark.
Too dark.
Fix it in editing. Just fix it in editing.
I'm gonna leave it
put
there.
that at the end. Put that at the end.
Nah, we gotta leave it. We gotta start out dark so people know what they're getting themselves into.
Holy.
Yeah, and hopefully next time we meet up again, we could talk about parasocial relationships.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, or the internet, dude.
That could be part of it. Talk about parasocial
one.
relationships, whatever was left on that research paper I sent you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully by next week. And on that note, bye guys. I hope you guys have a good night.
See
Thanks
ya.
again, man. Catch you later.